Hello, I'm Caroline from thepartyartisan.co.uk and this is my second YouTube video on the basics of crochet. Today I'm going to show you two of the most basic stitches but the most widely used. When you can use these stitches you can crochet an awful lot. The only complicated thing about them, or confusing thing, is that they have different terms depending on whether you're using a UK pattern or a US pattern. Exactly the same stitch, just with different terms. So I'm going to teach you the US single crochet, which is called a double crochet in the UK terms, and I'm going to show you a US double crochet, which is called a triple crochet in the UK. But I'll show you how easy they are. It just means that you'll be able to read patterns from both the countries without a problem. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're going to cover American single crochet today, which is the British or UK double crochet. It's exactly the same stitch, just with a different name. So this is US and this is UK. Okay, so what I have here, I started off with a chain of 10 and then I crocheted 9 single stitch into that chain and then did more rows of single stitch so you can see what it will look like. So we have the top of the stitches here, we have 9 stitches. We always start a row with a chain. We turn our crochet because we're always working from the right to the left. Now do you see these holes here? That's what we're going to be crocheting into. So for a single stitch we go in to the hole. Now can you see it looks like there are 3 strands on the hook now. 2 from the top of the stitch that we've just gone into and the one that we had on our hook already. So we grab the yarn anti-clockwise, pull through that stitch, just that stitch. Now we have 2 strands on our hook. Grab again and pull through both. Go through the next stitch, grab the yarn, pull through, so we have 2, grab it again, pull through both, so there we have 2 single stitches done. Through the yarn, back out, and we just carry on going and get into a rhythm. Do you see how my finger holds the stitches steady? It's not something I learned, I think it's just a habit I've picked up while I've been crocheting all these hours. You'll pick up your own habits or tricks that help you. I'm going to the end, and then when you get to the end, always do a chain if you're going to turn and do more. So chain and turn, or turn and chain, whichever you prefer, and then you just carry on going in, back out, grab the yarn, go through both. Now single stitch is a really handy stitch to know. Single stitch obviously is double, single crochet is double crochet in the UK terms, and it's always used to make toys and shaping different items that you're going to make. It's one of the stitches I use the most. I think most people do. It's not so, I guess it's the tightest stitch. Okay, and then all the way to the end, and that is your, just got to help this one along because I'm using cotton. You see how that splits? Doesn't stick together as well as wool, so I have to just make sure that I don't grab only half of the strands or I grab a strand from the previous round. So anyway, that is your single crochet. Now it looks very holy, but that's because I've used quite a large hook. Making toys, you don't want your stuffing to show through. You just use a thinner hook and thinner yarn, and that's single crochet. I'm now going to show you double crochet, which is, that's the US term, which is UK triple. So now I'm going to show you double crochet, and I know it's called triple in the UK, but I'm just going to refer to it as double crochet rather than keep on switching between the two. Okay, this is still the single crochet that I did previously, and I'm just going to carry on crocheting in the double so that you can see the difference between the two stitches. Okay, so when we get to the end of the row, if we're changing the stitch, we change the number of chains that we do, because it's going to be a taller stitch. We do more chains. I'm going to do 3, but don't worry about you having to work out how many chains, because the pattern that you're using will tell you how many chains you have to use, so don't worry about it. So the difference now is, instead of just going into the stitch and grabbing the yarn and through like we did with the single, we yarn over, it's called grab the yarn, like that, and then we go through the stitch, grab the yarn, back on through. Now you should have 3 strands on your hook. Grab the yarn and go through just 2 of those strands, grab the yarn again and back through the last 2, and that's your stitch done. Can you see how it's much taller than the single stitch? So let's do it again. We grab the yarn, go through the next stitch, back out, grab the yarn, go through 2, grab the yarn, back through the last 2. And you shall see what it looks like in a second when I get to the end. I'm just going to speed up a little bit, not too much, because I am trying to crochet through the camera lens, which is a little bit tricky. And to the last one, as I said, I'm using cotton, so I'm just going to make sure that I have all those strands through. Can you see how bitty it is? And through. Ah, you see. Oh, I've missed one. You see that? So you just undo it, go through it again. It's not a problem. A crochet is very forgiving. Now, there's our row of double crochet UK triple. Now can you see how it's a much taller stitch, and in a way it starts to flare out because you've got more stretch in it and give than the single, because there's bigger gaps. So that is your double crochet.